The Senate Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries has begun a probe into the supply and distribution of fake fertilizer to farmers across the country. The committee, which summoned Africa Uncensored of an expose it did, called out government agencies over negligence and said members of the committee will visit all the affected counties and hear from the farmers firsthand. Ayub Abdikadir has more.
The investigation into the fake fertilizer syndicate by the Senate committee comes as pressure mounts on the government over the supply of the fake fertilizer that has led to outcry among farmers, questioning the government's commitment to food security, one of its key agendas.
Wakati mradi wa kupeana pembejeo na mbolea ruzuku wananchi wa Kenya ilipoanza, wakulima walikuwa na matumaini na tuliona mazao. Lakini katika pilika hizi kunaonekana kuna majambazi ambao walikuja wakakaa wakachora na wakaamua kwamba watakuja kutajirika kwa njia hii.
Members of the committee were astonished by revelations from whistleblowers, Africa Uncensored, who investigated the fake fertilizer supply. The members questioning how the web of the fertilizer syndicate escaped the attention of authorities.
So, Chair, NCPB becomes an entity of interest to this committee. KEBS becomes an entity of interest to this committee. And that man you're calling who? Joe Kariuki becomes a person of interest.
In fact, NCPB also must tell us what is their role. Because if they are selling a product that is not well approved, or a product that does not have confidence of farmers, then NCPB must also be held culpable in this subsidy program of fertilizer.
And these criminals, up to now, I have not seen them arrested, charged. Does it mean that the government is complacent and disallowing this to go on? I thank you, Chair.
In as much as there might be political implications to what I'm about to say, I think it's important that as a Senate and as politicians, we admit that this is something that transcends all parties, and that it is quite possible that politicians of different persuasions have been involved in this. Not just politicians, but also government officers have been involved in this over the period of about 3 years.
Recently, farmers across maize-growing areas expressed concern over the quality of the fertilizer in distribution, despite a robust defense mounted by the state. On Sunday, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and Agriculture CS Mithika Linturi called for probe, putting on notice state agencies involved in the scandal.
How is it possible that you can package this thing for 2 years, and even the local chief or assistant chief, NIS, they have not flagged off that thing?
Better word than to call this is more than terrorism, because when there is food insecurity, it is a threat to national security. And it is very unfortunate. It looks like this syndicate is a well-organized criminal enterprise, and there is some level of abetting and commissioning or omission by some of the agencies who should have done their job.
Fertilizer anajua inapelekwa pale na yeye anakuja anapeleka, kwa sababu anasema hana kandarasi yoyote ya serikali. Lakini mbolea yake, udongo yake, kwa sababu sio mbolea, ilikuwa inapatikana NCPB. Pia ni kama alikuwa ameweka pale pia marketing agents. Ukija pale unaambiwa hii ndio nzuri, unachukua udongo. Swali kubwa ni kwa sababu mbolea ilikuwa inalipwa kupitia taasisi ya serikali ya halmashauri ya nafaka. Ukipewa voucher unalipa na M-Pesa kufika pale. Joe Kariuki alikuwa anapata pesa zake kivipi?
Thing is that the various institutions and some of which have been called upon here ought to be called to account for having caused suffering to members of the public, specifically farmers, and by extension, anybody who eats food in this country.
The revelations before the Senate committee come as farmers lament over the loss of funds they used to procure fertilizer, a scandal that may leave a dent on the government's food security agenda and one of the key pillars in its manifesto. The committee has summoned the Kenya Bureau of Standards, the National Cereals and Produce Board, and called on the Auditor General to initiate a forensic audit of the fake fertilizer syndicate. The committee said those involved will be prosecuted. Ayub Abdikadir,